Hi, this is Jill Fehrenbacher from Inhabitat, and I'm standing here today in the Essex Street subway station in the historic Lower East Side neighborhood of New York City. Behind me in the station, you can see there's this massive dark space, and it's actually an abandoned trolley terminal station. And a new group called the Delancey Underground has actually proposed turning this into an innovative new underground park for the community. We're going to talk to the co-founders of Delancey Underground to find out a little bit more about this amazing new project. This is Dan Barasch, co-founder of the Delancey Underground. I want to ask you, what inspired the Lowline?
We found out about this incredible space underground right here in the Delancey and Essex Street station in New York City. What we learned was that it's this massive location. It's 1.5 acres in size, 60,000 square feet, and it's a former trolley terminal. So it used to be used for streetcars back when the city used streetcars to get over the Williamsburg Bridge. When we learned about this space, we got this incredible idea to create a new kind of urban park where the community could come for free all year round and enjoy plants, trees, grasses, etc.
Our proposal is actually, if you want to strip it down to its barest elements, we want to clean the space up and introduce natural light. About 3 years ago, I started experimenting with this solar irrigation technology. Our studies that we've undertaken indicate that we can actually channel light down there to provide the right kind of light and enough light to actually grow plants.
Can you describe a little bit about how the technology works?
The basic concept of this kind of technique is an ancient one, and one that's been done many, many different ways. At its essence, this technology involves concentrating natural daylight and then channeling that through a tube or a fiber cable down to a super concentrated bead, and then redistributing that light at the end target. By inverting the way we've collected it, we're able to really kind of create a simulation of a skylight.
This obviously would not be a tropical rainforest, but a big part of this, I think, is working very closely with some of the world's best landscape architects, some of the best designers, and we hope this can also be something that will inspire both New York City and other cities around the world in looking at their underground spaces in different ways.
So what do you actually foresee going in this space? Like, how are people going to use it?
Yeah, so once we build and preserve this space for public use, that's where we start getting into really fun ideas for what could happen down there. We're talking very closely with the community around what they would use the space for. Things like the opportunity to bring young people into the space, retail opportunities, as well as the ability to showcase some of the art and music that make the Lower East Side so incredible. One thing that we're very proud of is that we've worked with and have received the official endorsement of the Lower East Side Business Improvement District. And I think what that symbolizes is that the business community on the Lower East Side sees this as a potential magnet for people who would come down to the Lower East Side for a whole host of reasons. And this could also be a source of pride for the neighborhood and for the community.
Why do you think the Lower East Side needs a project like this?
This particular pocket of the Lower East Side is one of the richest cultural pockets in the country, and it's where most of our grandparents first lived when they came to this country. At the same time, it's a neighborhood that has been sort of historically continually overlooked by planners and the powers that be. The idea that we can actually reclaim this space via the use of technology and to create a community amenity for one that's historically been overlooked, really, is something that's very powerful to me, and that resonates with the idea of actually beginning to stitch back together a tear in the urban fabric.
So this project is so awesome. I really want to see it come to fruition. What do you guys need to make this happen?
This is a very ambitious project and a very complex undertaking. So we need all the support we can get. We need financial support so we can do our engineering studies and create our proposal. And we need actually just grassroots support. We need to actually build enthusiasm. We want people to be vocal to their leaders, to the local politicians, etc. We want to build a movement to create nothing less than a landmark for the Lower East Side.
What kind of reaction are you getting to this project from the community?
And the reaction that we've gotten, not only in New York, but around the world really, has been overwhelmingly enthusiastic and positive. And I think in a lot of ways, maybe we are hitting on some sort of cultural nerve. New York City is the city I was born in, and it's the city that I love. And there's this idea that it's an infinite city with so many layers of complexity. I think the underground spaces of New York, these lost underground spaces, are just another thing that hint to us that there's just more to the surface of this city than you might see on first glance. And something about that, I think, is currently resonating culturally, and it's something that I think not only I, but a lot of people find interesting.